All right, here we go, everybody, getting ready. We have some spicy weather out there in the Dakotas and Minnesota tonight. And hello, I am meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you here on Hutch's Weather. Coming up, we have an update on severe thunderstorm warnings just issued in parts of the Northland. They were talking right along the international border for storms capable of large hail, gusty winds, a few near the Minot area as well. We'll touch on storms elsewhere across the country. You are watching Hutch's Weather. Let's get right into it. And if you do have a question, as is always the case on Hutch's Weather, please let me know where you're watching from, what your question is. I'll do my best to get to those, but first let's talk about the matters at hand right now, and that is the fact that we do have severe thunderstorm warnings that have been issued by the National Weather Service office. Going into the Carlstadt area, here it's Marshall County, Minnesota, near Warren to Newfoundland down here. We do have a storm starting to lean out of the warned polygon. This yellow area here is the polygon. There has just been a statement issued for the Greenbush area for some very heavy rain and gusty winds associated with that secondary part of the storm leaning off to the right there or east of the storm track. So storms pushing to the north and east here, heading in the general direction of Carlstadt. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has to say about said storms. Number one, 1-inch diameter hail is the main risk, and we're also looking at a risk for some 60-mile-per-hour gusts from the storm. The important part is it's moving northeast, and the average speed is about 38 miles per hour. So Hutch will track this for you here. Now, we'll track this from the leading edge. Do you see the blue right here? That is the leading edge of the hail core. So we're going to get that leading edge tracked in here, and we'll go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and do that right there. Okay, so here we go. This is moving northeast close to 40 miles per hour. It doesn't look like my tracker is wanting to go with me here on this. Let me just try one more time. Nope. Let's try this and here. Okay, so okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at this, but I need to have the other light radar going here, so I apologize for that. Now, as this is rolling up, we'll clear out all of that, and then I'll be able to track the storm. My apologies for that. Now, as the storm is not far from the Carlstadt area, moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour, that will put it in that general vicinity of Carlstadt fairly shortly. So let me see if I can track it here. I think it's still loading the radar data right now. Oh, here we go. Okay. And here. Okay, so if the storm's moving to the north and east, let's put this on here. Boom. Okay. I don't know why my computer is really acting funny right now. Let me see if I can try one more time. Here we go. Okay, moving northeast, it's moving at close to 40 miles per hour. Let's put it in here, not 56, 45. And it will be in Strandquist by around 6:11 and by 6:15 in the Carlstadt area. And again, that hail will be the main threat from this storm as we go through. Now, as we go ahead and take a clearing of this, hopefully the radar site loads back up here with some data. There it is. So again, this little core of hail moving in Carlstadt will be there shortly. Prepare for 1-inch diameter hail, gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Now, there's another cell that's working its way into northeast North Dakota. This is Langdon. This is Loma. It's on the Highway 66 corridor, moving its way to the north and east. The National Weather Service says this is a 1-inch hail producer and could have some gusts to around 60 miles per hour. So that storm is continuing to move to the northeast as well. This warning is in effect, by the way, until 6:30. Your time right now is 5:56, and that is Central daylight time. So again, gusty wind, a main threat from these storms, but we have been talking about, and you've seen it online from different users out there in the world of streaming, just like Hutch is doing here, that there's going to be big, strong, nasty tornadoes tonight. Yes, there's a risk of some tornadoes, but that risk isn't the main threat tonight. The main threat's gusty winds and some hail. Now, as we look into the Minot area, you have a statement that's issued for this storm. That blue box says the Weather Service is watching it closely. We have a statement because it could be producing sizable hail. You would notice 3/4-inch diameter hail falling from the sky, but that is below the threshold of severe thunderstorm material here in the United States. So because of that, no warning is issued for this storm. It also is moving northeast, but only 16 miles per hour. So there's some gully wash and rain heading into Douglas right now. So flooding could be a problem from some of these storms out here. Although you need the rain in Minot, some areas of the Northern Valley have picked up some redonky-donk amounts of rain as we've headed through. through. I want to point out that in Lakes Country near the Detroit Lakes area, we've had some cells that formed right over the Cormorant Lakes area and moved up to the north and east of Devil's Lake right now. Those are moving along the Highway 34 corridor, not far from Height of Land Lake in here. And if you're in the path of this storm, it's a strong one, but non-severe at this particular time. So Hutch is watching those as well. And we do see that up in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, as we head and lean into the Thunder Bay area, the morning round of thunderstorms that went through parts of northern Minnesota is now pushing in to that Arrowhead region. Otherwise, things are fairly quiet until we get out in the big sky country of Montana. Now, let's take a look at some of the analysis that we can do with this storm. We're going to take a look at Hutch's hail tracker here. So let's see if this loads up for Hutch here. As we zoom in at what's going on down low, we should be able to see where the best chance of some hail may be with these particular thunderstorms. I'm getting an error message, so it might not cooperate. It was working great here just moments ago. What about the chance of severe hail as we look at that? Okay, Hutch says, let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at these. There we go. And now let's look at, okay, here we go. I'll just manually turn it on. So what I want to look at here is that risk of some severe hail. And again, I'm not seeing that particular analysis tool popping up. So what I'm going to do is try to pop up some other information for you here as we look at the temperature along these boundaries real quickly. And we'll see that right now those dew points are just very sticky. We have sultry air in the area where you see the bright greens here up near Grafton to Devil's Lake. That is some dew point temperatures that are pushing 70 degrees right now. So we have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, but the heat is not as warm up to the north. So right now we're talking about temperatures up in this area that are generally in the 60s in places like Langdon. Up here in the Hallock area, it's 70 degrees. Look how hot it is in Grand Forks, 88 degrees there, 88 in Moorhead and Fargo right now. It's 82 in Jamestown heading into the afternoon hours. So we do have some pretty nasty storms that are developing out to the west. And as those storms are forming, we're seeing that a few of them have become severe. So that is a quick look at what's going on. If you're in the path of these storms, make sure you seek shelter in an interior room. Stay away from windows. The movement of these storms to the northeast that are heading into the Langdon area will likely cause winds to come from the southwest, so you can prepare for that. Don't be sitting in rooms next to windows on the southwest side of the house in these cases, because that's where tree branches could fall. Once again, thanks to all of you who have uploaded photos at hutchesweather.com. I do want to show you a couple brand new entries there because it's just been a wild day of weather up here in the Dakotas as we take a look. So, and then I'll get to your questions real quickly. But this one was a very interesting one. We had some just mean skies making their way through Badger, Minnesota. That's in Roseau County. There's more storms moving through Roseau now. This is from earlier. Sylvia Johnson capturing this one near Rainy Lake. I think I double clicked on the one that I meant to show you. Here we go. Angel Slaughter capturing this in Badger in Roseau County. Look at the ominous skies there, mammatus clouds. What a great shot of just how mean and angry the skies were today across portions of the area. A lot of shots of supercell thunderstorm structure where you can see the curving nature of the storms as they work their way through. Thanks so much, Lisa, for sharing this in the War Road, Minnesota area, also in Roseau County. And from War Road as well, as the storms rolled in, we have what's called a Shelfie McShelferson cloud right there. That is a shelf cloud. It's attached to the parent thunderstorm. That's what sets it apart from what's called a roll cloud, which I will show you here, that is not attached to the parent cloud. Let me see. Where is the roll cloud? Here. This is really cool. Grand Forks, North Dakota. See that? That's kind of separated from the parent thunderstorm cloud. Not a shelf, more of a roll cloud that's rolling along, similarly formed, but Mackenzie McChickendoke. All right, Mackenzie, thank you so very much for uploading your photo. It says taken as a passenger while driving over the Demers overpass. All right, so very good. And I'm glad that you were a passenger and not trying to take pictures of those fancy clouds as they were working their way through. If you have any updates or clouds, if you'd like to see some of the shots that have been uploaded, head over to hutchesweather.com. But if you're in the path of these thunderstorms right now, make sure that you are aware that as they make their way through, hail, damaging wind will be the main threat from these storms. Let me see if I can pull the radar data back up here one moment while I click on the funness of this. There it is. Okay, so let's go to this and let me pop this back up. Sometimes my software, it's just, I think I've been working on it so long today, it just acts a little goofy. There's lightning strikes aplenty out there. Let me go to the basic radar product here. Oop, let me say turn that error off and let's look at the radar data. Off. on. Let's see if that did it. And reflectivity. Okay. And it does not want to show me any, oh, there it is. Okay, so now it wants to show me the radar data, and I'm happy that it is. So here it is, the storm leaning into Langdon right now. There's the hail core where you see the blue colors. It is making its way towards you. So areas near Langdon and just north will likely see the hail core there. On the backside of this storm here, we have a bite taken out of it. So sometimes it's good to take a look at the rotation in and around the storm. So I'm going to do that right now and see if there is. And there is some spin associated with this storm near Langdon. Doesn't mean a tornado's on the ground, and Langdon is a long ways away from where the radar is, but this is a storm that's showing some signs of spin with it right now. Where the red is, what that means is the wind is blowing away from Mayville. The wind blowing towards the Mayville radar is in green. So that spinning area is very, very close to the Langdon area right now. Does not mean a tornado's on the ground, but the storm is becoming a little more organized and is showing some signs of rotation. Now, if the rotation is evident in a higher elevation scan, which I just switched to, and yes, it is, notice how it's leaning back, and then we'll go up one more elevation and see, and yes, it is, and it's still leaning back some more. So the south winds and the updraft are leaning the storm back towards Wales, and that rotating updraft is present in 3 different layers of the atmosphere. That's a pretty good indication that that spin or shear in the atmosphere there is indeed real. Let's go ahead and take a look at the storm relative velocity, where we factor in the motion of the storm, and it is again visible. So this is an organized severe thunderstorm. Let's see what it looks like from cameras. Do you have a view of it? I just heard somebody uploaded a picture to hutchesweather.com. Let me go ahead into my other channel over here while my eyes wander. I am trying to garner information for all of you, and also want to take a look at my other channels to see if folks are seeing stuff. If you're seeing stuff, I want you seeking shelter from these storms. But right now we've got some puffy clouds reported by Brooke in the area of Grand Forks. Again, if you want to open a tab on your browser, go right to Hutch's Weather at hutchesweather.com and go to the photo section, and you can view these while they're coming. So Brooke just shared an awesome photo right now of what's going on in and around the Grand Forks area as these storms are. And wow, that is a pretty cool looking cumulonimbus cloud forming there. Thanks, Brooke, for sharing your photo. Rotating thunderstorm in that area near Langdon. Let me see what the Weather Service is saying and see if there's any update for you. And I do have a channel over here that I have a direct contact with the Weather Service. Thunderstorms near Cavalier County, high winds aloft, potential reaching the surface. Warning goes till 6:30. So gusty straight line winds for that storm in the Langdon area. And again, we are seeing a little bit of rotation with this particular storm. Let me see if I can load up the latest verbiage here from the Weather Service office. There it is. Moving northeast, 31 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour gusts is the main concern, along with some 1-inch diameter hail. And it is moving right over the Langdon area right now. So again, severe thunderstorms in this area, severe thunderstorms out in and around the Karlstad area here is severe. This storm, is it rotating? Well, again, we got red next to green. What does it mean, Hutch? Well, it means that there is some spin in this particular storm here. And when we look at it, it's strongest right here on the southwest flank of this storm, just off to the east of you in the Stephen Argyle area. These are moving north and in the general direction of, say, Karlstad and Halma. This area is a weak area of spin showing up on the radar there, and it's on the edge of the warned area for the storm. The main threat is going to be gusty winds and 1-inch diameter hail from this storm, moving in towards the Karlstad area shortly and on towards Greenbush. So looking at the regular reflectivity data here with this radar here, let me give it that back up for you. Single site and lightning. Here we go. So you can see the main core of the hail is right south of Karlstad moving in. Here is where we saw that rotation, not far from you folks in the Stephen area. And as we look on up towards the Karlstad area, you're going to get rain and heavy thunderstorm activity, and the pockets of hail are starting to show up as well. All right, so let me clear that out and see if I can use some of my tools that I was setting up before we did this. I'm getting used to some brand new software here, so it's new to me. Oh yes, how about the hail tracker? Hutch's hail tracker is here. Hard hats not necessary, but yeah, wise decisions are. So here's a look at the storms and where we're getting the hail. This is a hail tracker, and what we can do is tell you a little bit of an estimated size by the Doppler radar. So the Doppler radar is calculating away every scan by scan, and it says that this hail near Strandquist right here could be upwards of 1 inch in diameter. That is severe hail. That's headache hail moving through that area. Also, another pocket or hail core just off north of Newfoundland right now. So those moving northeast at that 30 mile per hour clip. bit. What is heading towards Carlstead? Here's this batch of hail. It too potentially at 1 inch diameter in hail size, heading in the general direction of Carlstead. Now let's look at the shear or spin tracker, right? I want to track where that spin is. I was showing it to you, and there is some areas of spin here where we got red and blue next to each other there, and it is picking up that stuff out here outside of Argyle and Stephen that's going to be moving right along this. So there is some spin out there that we'll be watching for with these storms. The risk of tornadoes is not high, but it's not zero either. So let me go ahead and pop back out to the storm. We'll do the analysis on the Langdon area storm up in Cavalier County, and we do have some spin showing up here. Remember, the radar beam is coming at this storm from my arm's direction here, so it's got motion away over Langdon, and in blue, the motion is towards, there's your spin on the spin tracker. We call that gate-to-gate shear in meteorology, but really what we're looking at is inside the cloud, where the winds right next to each other are moving in opposite directions. So when we see that, we watch it closely. Does it last for more than one scan? Is it in more than one layer of the atmosphere? And that's what we're tracking here. Let's track a look at that hail tracker right there real quickly as we see the storm moving into Langdon, right into town here. There is some hail that could be upwards of 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Okay, and then we got some near the Alzen area, and that's about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Maybe the hail size potential with this storm is starting to wind down just a little bit. So that is an update on the active severe thunderstorm warnings. Here is an alert for you folks out in the Douglas area south of Minot, not far from Max, on Highway 83 between Bismarck, or shall I say Cole Harbor, and Minot. Essentially, this storm has some hail. Look at Hutch is tracking that hail there. This one says 1.6 inches in diameter. This storm could be producing some hail up here that's approaching an inch in diameter. This is a look at the estimates of hail size by the Doppler radar. Let's look at the chance of severe. It's going to calculate, well, we're seeing hail that could be this big up in the sky. Will it make it down to the ground? And now we'll give you a chance on that happening. And it's about a 70% chance of 1 inch hail. So this storm could be producing hail up to 1 inch. It's moving in the general direction of Highway 83 over Minot. We'll keep our eyes on that for you. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I appreciate all of your input. I do think I did get a couple of questions. The Weather Service here says it's monitoring the storms. Let me check in on the Weather Service in Bismarck and see what they have to say about what's going on. Collaboration about a possible watch is ongoing. That is a possibility. There is a risk of severe weather per the Storm Prediction Center. Today's risk of severe weather looks like this. As we go ahead and see the yellow area here, it goes all the way out. This has been adjusted now, all the way out into the, International Falls area here in north central, northwest Minnesota, all the way back towards Bismarck. So that's where the risk of thunderstorms, this yellow area is called a level 2 risk. That's called a slight risk. It means we may see a few thunderstorms that reach severe criteria, and that's what we have now. It's really important that you share your measurements of severe weather and your observations of severe weather with your local authorities. You can pass them to me here at Hutch's Weather. How do you do that? Well, drop it in the comments on this broadcast right now. What we want from you is information on the hail size and the diameter of the largest hailstones that may have fallen in your area. Those hailstones can be compared to a ruler as the best thing. If you have a ruler available, measure it and give us an idea of what size hail you're seeing. But otherwise, check this graphic out and it'll help you with some details on some things you can compare hail to. Real hard to say marbles because marbles come in different shapes and sizes, but some things are pretty consistently sized, like golf balls. So if you have a small marble, you might say it's a small marble, and that's about a 1/2 inch in diameter. Pea-sized hail is 1/4 inch in diameter, and pennies. Do you have pennies or change in your pocket? Compare the largest diameter of the largest stone and let us know how big it got, because the radar, it tells us things, but this is what's happening at the sky level, not necessarily what falls down and hits your sidewalk. So your reports are very important. Now, when wind comes to town and it causes damage, it's hard to measure. Not all of us have anemometers in our pocket. If you don't have an anemometer in your pocket or in your yard, you can estimate how big of branches were snapped off. Were they snapped off and it's just tree branches that were blown down and they were about 1 inch thick? That information can be helpful. But if you have whole trees down, what was the tree? Was it snapped off halfway up? How thick was the trunk? Was it a 6-inch trunk? Was it a 2-foot trunk? that can really be helpful in helping us determine how fast the winds may or may not have been blowing in those storms. So your reports are important. Please pass those along. And now I'm going to look for your questions real quick, as I always do here on Hutch's Weather. We're going to start with the Facebook feed, and I'm looking here, and I welcome all of you from watching. Thank you so very much, Kenneth and Kathy, for sharing stars with me, BA, as well as Sherry. All of you are very much appreciated. I'm seeing patio cushions out here. Hi from Grafton. Thanks for the update. Your area could see some strong storms once again tonight, some wet weather. Shared, thank you for sharing and passing the good word that Hutch is doing weather coverage right here on Hutch's Weather. That always helps to get the word out. And not everybody follows on Facebook, by the way, so you can always go to hutchesweather.com to see my latest or even live updates right there, no matter where you are, on your cell phone or on your laptop. Hope those storms stay up there, says Mary. Out to dinner in Detroit Lake, says Sherry. Hope my patio cushions stay dry. Well, I'll tell you what, Sherry, there were some storms that moved through swiftly. Did you see them? Thanks, Margaret, for your words as well. Now, let me check my feed that's going out over the live stream. And yes, we got some folks watching here. It says hot laps, says saw a post on Facebook, Langdon is underwater. Yes, there is. There is a flash flood warning in the Langdon area, and there's a lot of water there, and there are more thunderstorms in the area, severe thunderstorm moving into the region right now. And Linda says from Bemidji, good to have you on board, Linda. Thanks for watching on my YouTube channel. I'd love for you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and any like button if you've liked the information that you've gotten here. That will help me in a great way. Thanks for the weather forecast, Hutch. Julie says, thank you very much. I appreciate your trust in me, and I hope to do a good job of keeping you ahead of the weather, and you do a great job of keeping me informed on what you are seeing. So severe thunderstorm warnings do continue for portions of the northern parts of Minnesota and northern parts of North Dakota. Here is a look at the latest radar as we go. I will share this with you, the severe thunderstorm warning for the Langdon area, where we do have flash flood warning already in place, more heavy rain making its way through. Rainfall estimates in this area, by the way, have gotten to the point of ridiculous 3 to 4 inches. I'll put that up here now so we can track that. This severe thunderstorm, by the way, warning rather, is in effect until what time is that in effect? 6:30. So for the next 15 minutes. Notice how most of the heavy rain and thunderstorm hail just skirting the outside of this yellow polygon area, but it's in the green polygon where the flash flood warning is in effect. So I'm efforting to pull up some rainfall information with regards to how much rain has fallen. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. Now, what you're looking at here with these colors is an estimate of how much rainfall has fallen. And look at these digits you're seeing here. We're talking 4 to 5 inches of estimated rainfall by the Doppler radar from this. In Langdon, where the streets were underwater, that amount is just a pinch less than that. But rain gauges can be different than what the radar estimates, because the radar's estimating from raindrops it sees that are well above the ground. Now, in Walsh County, Minnesota, near Park River, near Lankin, and all the way out towards that area, we got 2 inches of estimated rain for Adams and Park River. And then here's another blue streak working its way through the Newfolden area in central parts of northern Marshall County, Minnesota. And this is estimating 2 to 5 inches of rain there. Really some gutter fillers right there. And that extends all the way up to the south side of Greenbush. And this area has a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now as we head into the evening hour. I'll update you on that right now, and then we'll get you back to some enjoyable, hopefully, some, whoopsie, I uploaded or clicked on the wrong thing here. So let's go to the radar, and here we go. I apologize for this. There it is. Okay, so here it is. This is the storm that's pushing on its way up towards the Greenbush and Strathcona areas, and this one is generally moving out. Well, Roseau, you got heavy rain right now. The heaviest of the storm now is down near the Karlstad area. This storm, as well as the one out near Langdon, had some weak signs of rotation with them. We'll continue to monitor. This particular thunderstorm warning is in effect until we get to the time frame of 6:30. Let me double check that. 6:45 rather. 1 inch hail, and we could see some gusts upwards of around and up to 50 miles per hour from that storm. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Until next time, stay tuned to me right here. You can always Well, share your reports through photos by uploading them to hutchesweather.com. Appreciate your follows on Facebook. I appreciate you subscribing on YouTube. And until next time, stay tuned and stay safe.